Hello students, myself Neha Nandakumar Bendre, Assistant Professor in Zoology at Rare Shikshan Samstha's R.B. Narayan Rao Borake College, Srirampur. In the previous lecture, we have studied about the ultrastructure of nuclear membrane, and the nuclear pore complex. So today, we are going to see the structure called as nucleolus, which is present in the nucleus. So we are going to study about the ultrastructure of the nucleolus, its general organization, its chemical composition. So to begin with, so whatever protein synthesis that takes place in our body, whatever function that are carried out in our body are due to the ribosomes. If ribosomes are not there, there will be no protein synthesis. In order to know the importance of the ribosomes, that where are these ribosomes then formed? So these ribosomes are formed in one part that is present in the nucleus, and that part is named as nucleolus. And so this is the structure that is called as factory of ribosome synthesis. So let's see in detail about the nucleolus. So let's see the definition about the nucleolus, that it is a dense, spherical, oval shaped organelle concerned with the rRNA synthesis lying inside the nucleus. So this nucleolus structure is present inside the nucleus, which is a dense and spherical oval body, that is concerned with the rRNA synthesis. So next let us see the general organization. How is the structure, or how are the numbers, the position of the nucleolus? So as we know that it is embedded in the matrix of the nucleus, and these dense bodies were first observed by the scientist called as F. Fontana in 1781. So after observing the dense body, the spherical oval bodies, the scientists have thought that what may be the dense body called as, or what may be the function. So it was later on known that these structures are known for the synthesis of ribosomes, which are required for protein synthesis. So whatever ribosomes are required for the protein synthesis, for carrying out different function of the cell, so that are produced, or that are generated, or that are synthesized by the nucleolus. So it is a very important organelle, and let me tell you that this nucleolus is said as the brain of the nucleus. So as we say that brain of the cell is the nucleus, and the brain of the nucleus is itself the nucleolus. So it's a very important organelle to study. In this, most important thing is that this organelle does not contain any type of membrane as the nucleolus contains. So it is a membraneless organelle. It is found that it is absent in most of the lower organisms, that are lower organisms means the bacteria, it may be yeast, algae. Then apart from this, there are RBCs in our cell that doesn't contain nucleus, and so there is no nucleolus also some sperm cells, then some dividing cells that doesn't take part in the any protein formation or any protein synthesis, and so therefore they doesn't contain this nucleolus in it. Next is the size. So there is always question that what is the size of the nucleolus, whether it is small or large. So, but if you see the structure of the nucleolus in the nucleus, see this is the structure of nucleus, and here we can see that almost 25% of volume is occupied by this nucleolus. So it is the largest organelle in the nucleus, and surrounding them is the chromatin bodies, the nucleoplasm, okay, the ribosomes that are scattered around in the matrix, okay. So the large dense bodies which are scattered in the nucleus which is occupying 25% of volume, it contains the size as per different kind of cell types, as per the synthetic activity. The size is not stable. It has various sizes depending upon the activity of the cell. If that cell is more active, taking more active participation in protein synthesis, then the number of or the size of the nucleus or the nucleolus will be large, and the cells which are not active in the protein synthesis are containing small nucleoli. Okay, so here, so varied as per the cell type and the synthetic activity of the cell, and as per the rate of protein synthesis, the active participation in protein synthesis, the size varies. So large nucleoli in the active cells, while small nucleoli are present where the rate of protein synthesis is low, means that is in muscle cells, blastomeres, that are the dividing cells, and the sperm cells. While it is large nucleoli seen in the secretory cells which are secreting different kind of hormones or enzymes, okay. Then neurons which are consistently having active protein synthesis. Oocytes, here 6 in the oocytes of amphibia there are 600 to 1200 nucleoli, okay. So these are containing large nuclei. So depending upon the activity of the cell, the size of the nucleolus depends. So this is clear now. Now let's see the number, that how many nucleoli are present in the nucleus. Okay, so usually it is said that one nucleoli is present with each set of chromosome. Means for haploid set of chromosome there is one nuclei. If there are diploid set of or diploid chromosome, there will be 2 nuclei. Generally in man, in the human beings, there is diploid chromosome. Haploid means there is one set of chromosome, that is, this is haploid set of chromosome, and diploid, this is haploid, which contains one nucleoli, and the diploid, that is 2 set of chromosomes, okay. Diploid, they contain 2 or more nucleoli, okay, as per the requirement of the cell. So depending upon the set of chromosome, the number of nucleoli depends, okay. Like this, you can see there are in amphibians there are number of oocytes present, okay, according to the activity of the cell. So next, after knowing the size, number, let's look out for the position, that where actually the nucleolus is located. Here you can see the position. Here we can see they are scattered, or it may be present at any position. But when the nucleolus is seen under electron microscope, it was observed that it is present at the nucleolar organizer region, that is called as NOR, okay, nuclear organizer region of nuclear chromosome. So that the chromosomes that are present in the nucleus, okay, which lies near. So here you can see that these are the chromatin threads, and this stage is called as interphase stage. So here one thing I would like to make clear, that nucleol or a nucleus are very prominently seen in the interphase, or the chromatin are seen in the fine thread like structure, entangled structure in the interphase phase. Later on in the latter stages, the chromosome gets separated and gets a definite structure. But here these are fine thread like structures, okay, in the interphase phase, and at the next stage the nuclear membrane gets divided, or it breaks, and the chromosomes are attached to the spindle apparatus. At that time, here the nucleolus also disappears at the time of cell division, okay, but it is prominently seen only in the interphase stage, while in the prophase, in the metaphase stage, the nucleolus is not seen clearly, okay. So, and after the cell division, the nucleolus starts to reappear again. So, if anybody wants to see nucleolus under electron microscope, the stage should be interphase phase. So, in this stage, when the chromosomes are present in the heterochromatin region, the dense region or the dark region are called as, in the previous lecture also I have told you that these are called as heterochromatin, and the lightly stained regions are called as euchromatin, which are active in protein synthesis. Okay, so in this chromosome, see I have shown you here the chromosome, that in this chromosome region, these are called as the nucleolar chromosomes. In this structure, mainly that is 13, 14 and 15 and 21 chromosome. See, on the chromosome of 13, 14, 15 and 21 chromosome, mostly at this chromosomes there is an location, okay, called as NOR, which is present at this anterior side, okay, at the secondary constriction region. Secondary constriction region means here I am drawing a chromosome where there are two constriction. One is primary constriction and other one is secondary constriction. So this is primary constriction and this one is secondary constriction. So this NOR, that is nuclear organizer region, lies in the secondary constriction, which then forms the part of the nucleolus. So nucleolus. Like this, different kind of chromosomes with the secondary constriction or the nuclear NOR regions come close together and forms a nucleolus. Okay, so like this, many different kind of chromosomes come together with their NOR regions together, which gives the appearance of dense spherical bodies, okay, which are giving the oval shape to the nucleus. So these are nothing but the gathering or aggregation of these chromosomes with NOR regions together, okay. So here we can see the position that is present in the nucleolar organizer region, which all this nuclear organizer region come together, okay, which are the dense bodies, and together form this nucleolus, okay, present at the heterochromatic region of the chromosome. The chromosome contains a euchromatin part and the heterochromatin part, okay. At this heterochromatic part, the NOR region is present. So after this, now we are going to study about the chemical composition of the nucleolus, that what all components are actually present in the nucleolus and the ultrastructure of the nucleolus. Okay, now after looking at the general organization of nucleolus, where we have studied the size, shape, number, position, now we will look out for the chemical composition, that what actually is present in the nucleolus. So the chemical composition was studied by the scientist Maggio Palade in 1963, Maggio and Palade, that is in 1963, while Vincent scientist in 1952. So they concentrated on the chemical composition of nucleolus, where they found there along with the ribonucleoproteins, there are many kind of enzymes are present which carries out different kind of function. So it was observed that in the liver cells, okay, as we said that nucleolar number or the organization that depends upon the activity of the cell along with the cell type. So in the liver cell, it was observed that 3 to 5% of RNA was made by the nucleolus. Okay, so in the nucleolus of liver cell, the RNA composition was 3 to 5%, while in the embryo of pea plant embryo, it consists of 10 to 20% of RNA. So the composition was found varied. Different composition levels were present of RNA in different cell types, but it was found that along with the different concentration of RNA, it contains DNA, RNA and different kind of ribonucleoproteins. Also it contains proteins like phosphoproteins, orthophosphates and different kind of enzymes like acid phosphatase, DPN synthetase, RNA methylase, nucleoside synthetase for carrying out different for generating nucleic acid dinicotinamide. Okay, so NAD. So for synthesizing such components also the enzymes are present in the nucleolus. Okay, so here we can say that the chemical composition, whatever is present in the nucleus, contains DNA, RNA and proteins with the help of some enzymes, also phosphoproteins and orthophosphates that carries out synthesis of ribosomal subunits, okay, which further helps to carry out the protein synthesis. Next, after studying the chemical composition, let us study the different types. There are different types of nucleolus. There are 3 distinct types of nucleolus, that is homogeneous, heterogeneous and ring nucleoli. In homogeneous nucleoli, the nucleoli are found scattered. They are found scattered all over the region or in the nucleus, while in heterogeneous, the nucleoli are present in groups. They are arranged in groups, in clusters. Okay, these are heterogeneous type of nucleoli, while the ring nucleoli, the nucleoli are arranged at the periphery in the form of ring structure at the periphery of the nucleolus, which gives the ring like structure, and so it is called as ring nucleoli. Okay, so homogeneous, which are scattered all over the nucleus, then heterogeneous, which are present in the form of cluster or in groups, and ring nucleoli, which is giving the structure of ring, okay, present at the periphery of the nucleolus. So these are the 3 types. Next we will move on to the ultrastructure of the nucleolus. Ultrastructure means this kind of structures are found under the electron microscope. They are seen under electron microscope very easily, and detailed structure we can study. So in this detailed structure we found out that, as we know that nucleolus doesn't contain any kind of membrane. But here you can look that the outer region, it might look like a membrane, but it's not a membrane, but these are the region of internucleolar chromatin and perinucleolar chromatin. So these are the chromatins, just as said you previously, that these are the chromatin structure, the NOR regions come together and form the nucleolus. So here the outermost chromatin layer is called as perinucleolar chromatin. Okay, perinucleolar is the outermost, and the side which is present inside, okay, this is called as internucleolar chromatin. Okay, so the next part in the ultrastructure, see there are different structures present in the nucleolus. So these are 2 types of chromatin. Inside, in the this is the matrix, just as the matrix present in the nucleus. So in this matrix of nucleolus, we can see different structures. These are some granular structures. Okay, these are granular forms. Also along with the granular, we can see the fibrillar structure. Okay, fibril thread like structure. Okay, so it is called as fibrillar structure, fibrillar portion. Okay, then next we can see small granules are nothing but the matrix portion, that is called as amorphous portion, where different kind of enzymes are present where hydrolysis of different kind of structure takes place, or the nucleolus hydrolysis of nucleolus takes place, okay, with the help of pepsin enzyme. So pepsin enzyme is present to hydrolyze the nucleolus structure. So in this, the granules, the granular portion is present at the periphery of the nucleolus. You can see the this granular region are present at the periphery, they are not present in the central, while the fibrillar portion is present in the center of the nucleolus. Okay, so fibrillar is present in the center and granules at the periphery of the nucleolus. So the granules, why they are present? So what is the function of that granules? These are helpful, or these help in the assembly of pre-ribosome. So whatever the pre-ribosome material is required for the assembly of ribosome, okay, and we know that ribosome is present in the two structure, that is a large subunit and a small subunit and a large subunit. So these kind of structures are, or this kind of assembly is made with the help of granules. So the pre-ribosome assembly is taken place by the granules. Next, the fibrillar is helping in the rRNA transcription, okay, to carry out further synthesis of ribosomes. So rRNA transcription is done in the fibrillar portion, and these granules and fibrillar are made up of ribonucleoproteins. So this helps in the pre-ribosome assembly and RNA transcription, while it also helps in pre-mRNA processing. So fibrillar portion is also helping in pre-mRNA processing, where after this process only this mRNA is carried out, is taken into the nucleus, and then from nucleus it is passed on to the cytoplasm for carrying out protein synthesis. So this nucleolus is taking, or is in very important part of the cell where the whole protein synthesis depends. So if the nucleolus was not there, so we were not able to synthesize the different kind of ribosomes, and so we were not able to synthesize any kind of proteins, and as there are no proteins, our body would not function properly. So these all things depend on the nucleolus and the type of nucleolus. Okay, so after looking at different the ultrastructure of the nucleolus, as we have also known the importance of the nucleolus, let's see the function. So the first function is in the synthesis of RNA. So it is the active site of RNA synthesis. Nucleolus is the active site of RNA synthesis, where it constitutes 70 to 80% of RNA is produced in the nucleolus. Next is the ribosome formation. As we know in the previous, I have said you that nucleolus is said to be the factory of ribosome production. So whatever ribosomes or whatever the subunits or different types of ribosomal RNA, different types of RNA are produced in the nucleolus. So ribosome formation is the main function of nucleolus. Then in the protein synthesis, as we know, the ribosomes are formed. It helps a lot in the protein synthesis. So looking at the different kind of general organization, the ultrastructure, the function, we can say that nucleolus is a very important organelle to study, and hope you have understood all this whole lecture. If you have any queries, you can write it down in the chat box. Okay, so thank you for watching.